I would say like my backbone is one of my best friends, trainer. He doesn't live here in the Valley or whatever. He lives in Houston now, but he's the person I talk to every single day. He's my sounding board. He does all the not fun stuff like the finances and things like that. But I always say that like I don't think I would continue to do this if I didn't have them.
Yep.
Because working with my friends can be a challenge, but I want this to work just as badly for the belief they put in me than I did for the belief I put in myself.
Welcome to the Venture Cafe Phoenix podcast, an extraordinary podcast. I am Alex Koupal, your host. Today we have in studio one of our Venture Cafe members who is a true food entrepreneur, a great community builder, and he has turned a passion for food and hospitality into several beloved local brands. He is the founder of JP's Catering and a creative force behind Spaghetti Shack and Tita's Tacos. Thank you. Each bringing its own flavor to the portfolio. And we're very excited to partner with him for the Extraordinary Summer Series. You may see him at Venture Cafe vending foods, and it is my great pleasure to invite on the podcast, Joey.
Well, thank you, Alex.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Big Venture Cafe fan, now sponsor, partner, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, excited to be here.
Absolutely. And you have been evolving this brand for a long time. And I know you came into Venture Cafe early on in your entrepreneurial journey. What was one of the first things that brought you to Venture Cafe?
I think what was really cool about Venture Cafe is obviously being a little more startup-y kind of focused was a nice place to be.
Yeah.
Also been involved in a lot of chambers, things like that. So always looking for networking opportunities to get connected in the community.
Right.
And of course, the couple free drinks that you get when you're there kind of...
It's always there.
It always helps a little bit.
Carrot,
but
yes.
I was just looking for stuff. To be honest with you, I can't remember how I got connected.
Yeah.
But after the first time I went, I was like, this is definitely something that I would like to go to more often.
Right.
It has lived on an ongoing Thursday reoccurring calendar thing for me for a while. Whether I make it every week depends on my schedule. But yeah, it's just a really, really cool community to meet other like-minded people. That's a little different than other networking opportunities I've been involved in.
I love to hear that because we want it to be different. We want it to be one of those things where you build long-term relationships and it's not just an exchange or a business card exchange. I know I remember vividly, I don't know if it was your first time, but it was our first engagement of when you came to Venture Cafe and you had shared with me what you were doing and where you were at on your entrepreneurial journey. And I was just so excited because I'm like, yes, we have so many phenomenal people in the community that are doing incredible things. And, from semiconductors and biotech and all of these like very high tech products. But we didn't see a lot of entrepreneurs that were in the creative space. And I like to call food creative. And so when you were talking about food brands and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is exciting. Like I want to see entrepreneurs come out of this that, are not only local, but also contributing to like what I call the base foundation of our entrepreneurship community. Because without the restaurants, the founders don't have anywhere to eat, right? Like we have to have these services. So I was very excited. And then when you disappeared for a while, as a lot of founders do as they're building, it was always in the back of my mind, where were you? What are you doing? And when you came back and you had all these brands and all these things, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Like, let's figure out how to bring you on the podcast and talk about it and showcase your success. So I say all that, to set the stage for like, what was the beginning for you wanting to start this entrepreneurship journey?
Crazy. I mean, when I think about the last 5 years, that's really how long I've been working on this. It's been a up and down, this way, that way. Things have worked, really not worked. But I started this business for my best friends since we were in kindergarten. I remember
since you were in kindergarten.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You hawking meatballs on the
No, I know. We weren't making meatballs back then, but I do remember we would kind of, do what every, mostly when we were teenagers, but 12, 13-year-old boys do, we're on the sleepover, we're talking about, girls that we liked, all that kind of stuff. But we always talked about wanting to do a business together at some point. Did we know it was going to be pasta? No. But we always kind of had that in our minds. My parents are restaurateurs.
Okay.
So my parents had a couple restaurants out in Queen Creek. They're now retired. I'm very fortunate that I have great mentors and some free help at times. My mom is still in there all the time helping me out. But yeah, so I always kind of liked food. I grew up around it. I told myself I was never going to do it. I
Yeah.
used to come home from my parents' sushi restaurant smelling like soy sauce. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm never doing
You
this.
grow up in it and it's yeah.
Yeah. So fast forward, I went to college. I worked in sports for a little bit. Fell in love with the community aspect of sports. And when I graduated into COVID, there wasn't a lot of sports jobs around.
True.
So my parents and I kind of had sat down and talked. I talked with my friends, and we were like, let's do what every smart person did during COVID, which was open a restaurant.
Right.
Definitely not
Yeah,
the smart
no,
thing to do at the
that's
time.
worse thing.
But yeah, so we decided on Spaghetti Shack. It was like this quick service to go
Yeah.
concept, family style at the time, and really just decided to give it a go. So really, it, like, I guess started off in those bedrooms when we were like 13, 12 years old,
Yeah.
and then ended up during crazy life questions of what COVID brought all of us.
Right. And are those still the same core group involved in the business?
Some of them have come and gone. They're all still on my ownership team.
Okay.
But some have different roles. Like, I would say like my backbone is one of my best friends, trainer. He doesn't live here in the Valley or whatever. He lives in Houston now, but he's the person I talk to every single day. He's my
Yeah.
sounding board. He does all the not fun stuff like the finances and things like that. But I always say that, like, I don't think I would continue to do this if I didn't have them.
Yep.
Because working with my friends can be a challenge, but I want this to work just as badly for the belief they put in me than I did for the belief I put in myself.
Yeah.
And so I think that and also makes it more fun.
Oh yeah.
But I think that is a driving force of what's continued to get me going every day is the friends and family that I do have involved, because I want so badly for this to work for them as well.
That is, I think, one of the main success drivers for an entrepreneur is having a sense of purpose, having the accountability, and there's 3 people you need on your team because they're all different mindsets. You need your finance person, your risk management person who's like, whoa, 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 wait, what are we doing? How are we doing this? You also need the CEO or the dreamer, the one that has the idea, the enthusiasm, the excitement to come up with the ideas. That is not the person who can execute. Sometimes.
Oh, yeah. That's me, and yes.
And then you have the execution person who's like, okay, take your dream and I'm going to put processes in place, systems. And so you have to have those 3 pieces to have a successful business: the idea, the process, and then how do we keep it safe? So you having these friends makes a lot of sense. What were you saying you were in that triad?
I was definitely the dreamer, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that they have grown into different rules in terms of the roles. Definitely, I'd say that they more handle the slowing me down at times.
We need
kind of
that.
the risk management
Yeah.
kind of thing. And at the time, we were way too young to realize that and made a lot of mistakes that we wish that we didn't make. But now I think that we have a pretty good dynamic. Like that is just who I am. I'm the
Yeah.
person that always has the new idea, the new things to do. And I've had team members step into those other roles as well.
Yeah,
I'm
huge.
very fortunate that I have great staff. 2 particular, like, really core staff that I would say that handle a lot of the day-to-day,
Yeah.
processes and organization and getting stuff done, because that is not my strong suit.
Right.
So I'm very fortunate that, like, people have kind of came around and, like, filled those roles.
Yeah.
And so whether it be my partners, whether it be my staff, I'm constantly trying to think how I can surround with people who are better than me at certain things.
Yes.
And I've come to learn that there's a lot of things that I need to improve on. So sometimes it's easier just to find someone to help.
It is one of like the lessons learned working with Forbes Shannon, who owns the Extraordinary Network podcast, is when we were working together initially, I was very much the doer in corporate. But my natural integrator where I sit is I'm a great ideas person, but I was forced into execution. So burnout year after year after year, struggling with that. But anyway, so like I'm in this operations role and he's also an entrepreneur and ideas person. And I'm asking him to do operations. And one day he comes to me and he looks at me and he's like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And I was like, what the no.
Props to him to, like, have that understanding of
brilliant.
Yeah.
And he had a fantastic mentor, Aaron Bear, who like helped coach him on this. And I remember being devastated because I'm like, you are supposed to be my companion in this, and you just dropped everything on me, and I hate you. But he came into his most extraordinary version of himself to watch his evolution and growth. And I found other ways to get things done, and I had other people to help, and like it was fine. Like I was like, oh, that was brilliant. I need to start doing that, because when you're in your genius and you're not forcing something, you're able to be so much more effective and so much more just authentic in who you are. And that was a huge lesson I learned from him that like I've been leaning into more and more. And I try to create that for all my employees and the people around you or around me. But how are you? I think you were talking about, hiring the right
Mhm.
people. How are you navigating that line of like, I want to do it myself because I want to make sure it's done right versus letting other people do it?
It's the hardest thing I think about this is because this
Yeah.
is my baby, it's my partner's baby, but I've also realized that, like, I'm not the best at everything.
Mhm.
Um, Again, a lot of things I'm not great at, and I think that I've just kind of been focusing on finding, people who care about what we're doing,
Yeah.
that see this for what we're trying to build it into and not what it is right now. And then constantly just allowing them opportunities to grow. I kind of see my role as, and I talk to my team about this all the time, is putting the pieces in place for them to be successful and to grow.
Yes.
I'm constantly asking myself, okay, is this the right person for the job at the right time? And do they have what they need to be
Yeah.
successful? And my job as the leader is to make sure they do have the resources, the systems, the processes, etc. And I think that's been a really important growth part in me
Yeah.
and my business is to make sure that that's how I'm viewing my team
Yeah.
and making sure that I'm allowing them to be successful and to grow. And, they make mistakes and I make mistakes all the time too. And it's just
Mhm.
allowing us, creating a culture that we look at those mistakes as opportunities to grow and
Yes.
not as just like, oh crap, we messed up that order.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, but we learned, we owned up to it, we learned,
Mhm.
and we're not going to do it again. And
Yeah.
I think that that's definitely something that has been very, very important, and it's still hard day to day. I catch myself doing it all the time of being like, "I
Yeah.
don't do this anymore," and then allowing the other person to.
Yeah. I find that to be really challenging, and in business consulting, that is the number one thing that holds most founders
Yeah.
back. Yeah, is being able to let go of control and continue to leave it there,
Yeah.
like, not take it back or pull it away from the employee.
One thing that I thought that you said that was just so true though is just being you and
Mhm.
being, like, authentically you and what you're good at and living in I think in your genius is the word that you used.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I do try to keep in my mind is, like, I consider myself to be a sales guy.
Yeah.
I love relationship
Oh, you're
building.
good at it.
I love building partnerships. I love,
Yeah.
like, creating processes and thinking about the nitty-gritty of things. But as far as, like, actually, like, getting that job done, I'm not the best person for it. I'm
Mhm.
not, because my brain is very scattered. I'm
Mhm.
like, "Oh, we could be doing this instead." So I try to spend most of my day living in things that give me energy
Mhm.
and not taking away from them,
That's good.
and then finding other people because there are things that I don't like that there's members of my staff that do,
Yeah.
and so let them run with it and, continue to be the best version of myself, because ultimately, I take a tremendous amount of responsibility for guiding the ship
Yeah.
because all of us are on this ship,
Yeah.
so I think that I need to be spending my time doing what I do the best, and that might be look different from founder to founder. And I think that that's
Absolutely.
really what's important is a lot of times I'll get asked like, "Oh, should I spend my time doing this or doing this?" And it's like, "Well, what are you good at? And what is your partner good at? Or
Yeah.
what is your staff good at? And spend the things that you do the best
Yep.
and be authentically yourself." And honestly, I think when I decided to be more of myself is when the business started to like grow a little bit.
Yeah. It's true. Well, and I think that's an infectious emotion and feeling, and people see that. I know when we brought Kathleen on board for Venture Cafe and she started doing the marketing, I like marketing, but the execution of like repetitively,
Yeah.
oh, I can't do it. And she loves it.
Yep.
And it excites me to see her excitement, and then it also excites me that she's excited and I don't have to do it,
Yeah.
and she can feel that, and I think that's such a gift is allowing other people to do things for you. It's an opportunity to, like and not just me, but, like, for the community and for everyone else. There's such a reward that comes with that, and I think you rob people of that reward when you don't let them do the things they love to do.
And, I try to tell my staff this all the time. Like, this is our company. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's ours. And
especially in
as you
entrepreneurship.
talk about that, it's our community. And, we could get into the nitty-gritty of how that like legally works of making
Right,
things
right.
ours. But it's just more of like the business grows, we grow.
Yes,
Everybody makes more money. Everybody has
yes.
better events. Everybody has better experiences, more help,
Mhm.
all those things. And so I really try to communicate that of being like, this is our thing. We're working
Yeah.
on together, creating that team, I
Yep.
guess. And yeah, I think in order to have people feel ownership of something, they have to do the work.
They do.
and
they
not
have to
just
evolve.
do what they're told to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing too, and maybe you already know this, but going into companies and, consulting, sometimes the person who's been doing the job forever, even though they're good at it, they don't wanna do it anymore, but they're afraid to say that because it's where they used to find joy
Yeah.
or it's where they're most valuable. Like, we just went into a customer's restaurant, it was one of our clients, and there was someone running the events, but she really wanted to be in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and that was where she got her degree, and that's what she loves, and it was so hard to think about her not being in that other role because she owned so much of it and did such a fantastic job, and to let her go to the kitchen,
It's
it was so
tough.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is killing it, and it is the best place for her, and, like, I think making those decisions as a business owner or a manager is, 1, really hard to identify that that's going on because people hide it, and they are doing a good job, and 2, like, pushing them to take advantage of that opportunity and letting them know their value's still there, even though they're stepping into a new role, I think is also super challenging.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something that you have to have honest communication with your team
Yep.
and honest communication with yourself too, of
Yes.
deciding what you want and don't want to do. So, yeah, it's just all about being honest with each other and yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, having those quality relationships. So as you were building JP's Catering, what was the first piece of it? Was it the spaghetti shack? Was it the catering? Like, tell me the
I
evolution of
have
all the
a
brands.
fun story, I guess. So we started as just a quick service to go pasta concept called the
Mhm.
Spaghetti Shack.
'Kay.
At one point we had 3 locations. We had one in Tempe, in South Tempe. We had one at ASU, a little off campus, but we called it our ASU location, and one in Pine Top. And I'll be honest with you, we grew way too fast. Like
Yeah, that's intense.
it was a lot. It was within 2 years.
Yeah.
It was a lot
Wow.
of stuff that kind of was going on that we thought that we wanted to do, and probably the biggest lesson I learned is about scaling and about
Mhm.
making sure that you're in the right place to grow, because sales were going up,
Yeah.
but the bottom line was not because we didn't
Right.
really know what we were doing yet. So we've had to make a lot of decision making over the year on like where we want to be. We've closed one location. Our ASU location is no longer operating. Our Pine Top location we actually sold to a local owner operator
Oh,
up in
wow.
Pine Top. So it's technically a licensed location now. And then here in Tempe, we're really trying to figure out what we're doing as well. Um, because what I've seen, and back to like understanding who you are and what you want to do, my love has been in catering.
Yeah.
I love catering. I love events. I love food because people connect over it.
Right.
And, I'll be honest, I'm not a chef. I'm not usually the one that's in there creating the food, making the
Right.
recipes. I have teams that handle that. But I like bringing food to the table and solving that one person's issue so they can focus on what they need to do.
Yeah.
Whether it is an event planner that has all these other things going on or an admin assistant at a corporation who just
Yeah.
got told to order food for this event, like how can we work together to put food on the table to solve your goals? So we started with Spaghetti Shack. Things were going really well in terms of catering. We grew over 2 years. Our catering business was going up and up and up. And then one time I was sitting in the room with my team, my board and my close team, and we were like, "What's working?"
Yeah.
And then everyone said catering. And then I said, "Okay, how can we do more catering?" And everyone's like, "Find more clients." I'm like, "Okay, this is great.
Perfect.
Yeah, we solved all of our
True.
problems." But then we started thinking, "Okay, how can we, instead of finding new clients," so we built a lot of really good relationships, service the same client more often.
Right.
Can't remember who said it, but somebody was like, "Well, Joey, people don't want pasta for every meal." And quite frankly, most of the stuff, they don't actually want pasta for a lot of their meals.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, good point. So what if we serve something else?" And they're like what? And I
That
was
just gave me
thinking,
a little bit of anxiety
yeah,
working with
I
a
know.
restaurant.
We really did. We're like,
Cost of goods, yeah.
let's serve tacos. And then I didn't understand it at the time, but we totally did the minimum viable product MVP concept. Like I literally got together, me and Ariel, my admin assistant. We created a little menu.
Yeah.
We sent it out to some clients that we already worked with, and we said, "Hey, would you order this?" It was literally a menu. And we got a few yes. So we like literally on our food truck, we like put a banner over it and we're like, "We're Tita's Tacos now." And then of course people were like, "Okay, this is weird." But
Yeah.
some people were like, "This is awesome." And the orders kept coming in and coming in and coming in.
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Holy crap," we took our catering business up 25% this quarter or whatever it was. just by offering this one other thing.
Yeah.
And so then we slowly started to tinker. We got that brand down and we're like, okay, let's talk about kind of going in this direction now. This is what's working. We're seeing fast growth here. We're seeing something that we like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into this. So we created Tita's Tacos, and then we really thought about JP's Catering and Mobile Food.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole goal is we want to be a one-stop shop for organizations so that we can handle any and all of their food needs.
Yeah.
But what makes us different is we want to partner with that organization to understand what they need and how we can best serve them.
Right.
A lot of caterers, if you don't bring me a $5,000 order, I'm not touching it. Or, hey, order off my menu. I'll show up. I'll be there. I'm good. But again, this is where I'm authentically myself. I like food because it brings people together. So I want to sit down. I want to understand how you're using food. Is it you're trying to get new clients? Is it you're trying to build community with your staff? Is it I'm a school and I like to have a carnival once a quarter? How can I plug into that and basically accomplish your goals, make yourself move forward with the use of food? So it was a little bit of a mix of being like, what's working? What do we like to do? And go from there. But now we have 3 brands, essentially. We have JP's Catering, which is our overarching brand, our umbrella brand, you could say.
Yeah.
And then Spaghetti Shack, which is still our number 1 to this day. And then Tita's Tacos. And we are very, very excited. We have a breakfast brand actually in the works that we're going to be doing next quarter that I'm really excited about. But our goal is to keep bringing out these new brands, giving customers an opportunity to engage with us in a different way.
Yeah.
Still, it's the same team, same group of people, the relationships that you enjoy.
Yeah.
It's just we be able to bring something different to you.
I have so many questions. So with all the different brands, why, and I think maybe I know why, but like, why the different brands and why not just say, okay, now Spaghetti Shack sells tacos? Maybe if it wasn't called Spaghetti Shack, but like, what was the antithesis to bringing in the different brand names?
It's a good question.
I think it's brilliant.
I think one of the big things is we want people to be able to connect with something.
Yes.
So we want to be able to be like, okay, if we're going to contract with, I'll use some apartment complexes, for example. They want to have reoccurring or new stuff for their residents. They don't want to do the same thing over and over again. And what we're able to do with having multiple brands is give the complex one contact.
Yes.
One ability, one person to go to when things go wrong, but present their clients, which are their residents, with a different experience.
Yes.
And same thing with people who are ordering. I've been talking to so many people that we're so done with our caterer because they put the same thing out every single time.
Every time.
And I don't just want to put the same sticker on every single thing. I want to be able to be like, this is our Tita's Tacos brand. This is how that brand exists. And, our goal is to have units, like have mobile food units for each of our brands that are very brand specific and that breathe life into the brand, etc. So while we just get started, Spaghetti Shack, we know exactly what that is, how it feels, how it goes. We've had to discover that with Titas and, be able to really understand, like, we did an event last night. It was actually super cool. We brought the food truck out and it was a food truck catering. And they really wanted music. And I'm like, okay, that's not something we usually do.
Yeah.
But like, sure. So one of our staff members brought a speaker. We played Mexican music, like Spanish music. And it was an awesome experience. And I'm like, you know what? That is this brand evolving into something and be able to breathe life into that specific brand in a way that we can't really do with Spaghetti Shack.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of mix of like true business. Like, okay, we just want to offer more things to more people. And then also being like, we want our customers to have that experience of that brand, not as, somebody just coming in and being like, here's a different menu.
I love that. That's exactly what I was thinking and the value I see in this. And as an event planner, producing events, I may have the same client, but to your point, this may be a VIP event and they want a charcuterie board. And there's another event where it's, just their team and they want Tita's Tacos. Like it's a vibe. It's a feeling that you're providing with the brand and the food and experience. And for me to be able to provide these experiences that are different, but then also on the back end have the same contact and know the quality is going to be good and know you're going to show up on time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've hired catering companies and they haven't shown up. And we're scrounging last minute trying to figure out how to bring in food and then they come 2 hours late with the skeleton team and trying to throw things together. And it's so unfortunate to have those kind of relationships, especially if you're doing one-offs, you don't know. So being able to
Yeah.
build a relationship with somebody that can provide a full, package for you is huge.
And
You guys
that
have a huge
is, you just hit
competitive.
on a huge point there. It's like, I got really tired. I usually say this. I got really tired of chasing one-off stuff.
Yeah.
As I was like, I'm chasing this couple
Well,
$100 order, even if it was a couple $1,000 order. I'm like, I
yeah.
just so tired of this. So we thought backwards and say, okay, what do we need to do in order to get more business
Yeah.
from this client and to build a relationship? And that's where our partnership kind of piece came in, is pitching ourselves a little differently.
So brilliant.
And then I hate to say this, but man, it's just how I wanted to do business.
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes it's like, with me getting out of the restaurant space and
Mhm.
entering into the catering and event space, it's just what I want to do. And if I don't want to do it, if me as the founder, me as the person driving the bus does not want to be on the bus, then you're not going to go anywhere.
No, yeah.
So it just came down to being myself.
Yeah.
And being, why I love what I do. Because if I love what I do, I'm going to do a really dang good job.
Yeah. That's fantastic. You mentioned, locations and food trucks, and how'd you get funding?
That was probably our biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Is we have done everything under the sun to get funding. We've
Okay.
had, we obviously put together our own stuff, between my partners and I, our own money at
Yeah.
the time.
Bootstrapping.
Yep, we've reached out and done the whole friends and family round kind of thing. We've gotten
Yeah.
into some loan situations we wouldn't want to get into again. And honestly, I think that was my biggest lesson. So if there's anybody listening to this that has that question for themselves,
Yeah.
just make sure that that's the number one thing you focus on at the beginning, that you're well capitalized, that you are, give yourself the runway to do what you want to do, what you need to do. And I'm telling you that as someone that didn't do that. And it's still something that we're trying to figure out to this day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done everything under the sun. And I would just like, if there's anybody that has any questions about it, just make sure that you have it before you do it.
Yeah. I think that's great advice, but also could be detrimental to some people wanting to just take the leap. I find so many entrepreneurs, are on one or the other end of the spectrum there. They're either cavalier and just go for it and just blow it up, right? And make it happen. Or they're so calculated that they don't even take the steps to move forward. Like there's a balance, right?
And I want to clarify, because there are the two types of people, as you said.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly the plane and I'm going to figure out how to fly it as it's flying
Yeah.
and building it. And then I'm going to do everything. I am in the camp of just do it.
Yeah.
But just do what you have the resources to do now.
There you go. Okay.
It's like, that's my biggest thing, is
Yes.
if your resources, we'll talk food because that's my game here. If your resources is, as of this moment, is I can get a commissary kitchen and I can do catering and
Mhm.
pop-ups, then do that.
Yeah.
And then work on your financing to get into that brick and mortar or to buy a mobile food
Right.
unit, to do whatever you need to do. I'm not saying wait until it's ready. Do not do that.
Right.
Do something. You're going to learn more by doing than you are by thinking. And then you're going to
Yes.
find out after you start, you shouldn't even have been doing that anyway. You should have been doing something else. So yeah, I'm team go. I think I'm just team, make sure you have the money to do what you want to do before you do it. And
Yeah.
even if that is something super small, but you can build it, you can show progress, you can show time in business, you can do all the things, whether it's investment route, whether it is like an SBA loan kind of route, you can begin to build that credibility.
Yeah.
But just making sure you have the money to do what you want to do first, I guess, is my only.
Yeah. Yeah. And the incentive or the motivation sometimes to stay in business is that loan.
Yeah.
So sometimes, as detrimental as it can be to the bottom line, like I do see where it lights a fire for those entrepreneurs and being able to it's a sink or swim situation. So yeah, I always love to ask founders, what their approach was and what you wish you would have done, because it's a very similar answer to what you just said.
Yep.
Like, figure out the plan, start with what you have, don't give up on the vision.
Yeah, just every event you go to, like I feel like for founders in the startup space is always going to tell you, like, have a partnership agreement. Is
Yep.
one I hear all the time. Please do.
Yes.
Have a partnership agreement.
Yes.
And number 2, make sure you're well capitalized in the right way for whatever you decide to do.
Yeah.
And maybe I wish I would have listened a little better when people were telling me that.
No, it sounds like you've listened to a lot of advice. I mean, the amount of growth, just in the 5 years and the, 4.5 years that I've been able to witness is just phenomenal. and you've been able to figure out how to solve a problem for a lot of people. That's, that's the whole goal, right? You solve problems and that's how you make money. People
Mhm.
pay for you to solve those problems. So I'm very excited to see, where you're going with this and what the next iteration is. So what's next for JP Catering?
Just continuing to roll out our new brands. We are really thinking hard about what this new vision looks like for us. We are in a transitional stage right now. I would
Mhm.
say very much like we're in a huge pivot.
Yeah.
The first 3.5 years was spent really in the restaurant space. And so we're pivoting, learning as we're going, utilizing our relationships we already had to pivot into the space. So although we're like closing the door on one
Yeah.
chapter of our kind of journey, if we didn't do that journey, we wouldn't be where we are. And I think that
Absolutely.
that's the thing that's really important to me is a lot of people are like, oh, you're closing a restaurant. And it's like, no, I'm entering into the space that's really working for me. And if I didn't do that restaurant journey,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't have the relationships. I wouldn't have the knowledge. So I'm very, very thankful that we're moving in that direction. Um, but yeah, I think it's just continuing to grow our brands and continuing to grow, our physical fleet that we can to get
Mhm.
that stuff done, to reach more organizations, to reach more partners, and to just really put our stamp on the Phoenix food scene, I would say.
Yeah. One of the things that I appreciated as, a partner in this, we had never done actual business or transactions
Hmm.
together. But you came to me when you had these ideas for solving a problem, and you're like, here's what we are thinking. What are your problems? What solutions do
Hmm.
you need? How do you think we could better serve you? And I was like, whoa, you're the only person who's done that. And I haven't even given you any money yet. Like, that is crazy, but also I think part of why you're so successful because you took that information and ran with it and was able to create a product that like I'm ready to buy. Like let's do it kind of thing. So I think to your point, that is your genius, that is your strong suit, the sales, the relationship building, but recognizing that you have to go out and talk to people
Yeah,
and do your due diligence.
no, absolutely. I do all of my sales work as much as I can in person.
Yeah.
Because our business is built on relationships. Yeah, it's just how I see our work getting done. But I do see a lot with founders that I talk to that it's just not their strong suit,
Yep.
not something that they want to do. It's not something that they enjoy. And until you get in a situation where you're able to find somebody else to do it, you still have to do it
Yeah.
because you can be the best dang handyman in the world, but
Yep.
if you can't sell your handyman services, then
Yeah.
you don't have a business. So I think that is a skill that every founder needs to learn. I'm very fortunate that that was like my thing,
Yeah.
but I've had to grow in other areas as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got to get out there, put yourself out there. There's no job you don't deserve. That's what I tell my team all the time.
It's true.
There is no job you don't deserve. As long as you're going to bust your butt to make it happen
Yeah.
and you're not going to overextend yourself in what you're capable of, now you deserve every job that's out there.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our time. So at the end of our podcast, we do a few rapid fire questions. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions and give me your 2 to 5 word
I'm not very good at being
description.
short-winded, so
Nobody
we'll,
is.
we'll see how this goes.
All right. What is your go-to comfort meal?
When I'm sick, I really love a bowl of pozole. That's my
So
thing.
good.
It makes me feel so much better. Um, Anything fried and anything not good for you is my
Mm,
comfort meal.
excellent. What is the most underrated ingredient?
That's a tough question. I think it might be salt. And that's because
That's
everybody
good.
now listen, let me finish. Again, not good at being short-winded. It's that good.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks it's important. It's way more important than everybody even thinks it is.
Yeah.
I put way too much salt on everything that I eat.
You nailed it. Like I was trying to think onions or something, but
Nope.
like no,
Everyone
you got the
you could say
bones.
it's underrated, but everyone's like, it's not underrated. Everyone loves it. I'm like, they don't love it enough. So mine's salt.
I think we take advantage of it. It's on every table.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's such a
for a
great
reason.
answer. Yeah, there's not basil on every table.
No, there's not.
What would be your dream client? Who would they look like?
I really love the corporate space.
Or-
I really love the obviously the budgets.
Yes.
But second, the professionalism that comes with it,
Yeah.
the being able to communicate with somebody like on a timely basis. Those are my dream clients. Is just, I think, anybody that is, really serious about getting a job done.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like, oh, I'll do this if I have time. Like, no, this is part of my job, to get this done. So I really like the corporate space, not only because of the money, but because of the, I guess, attention that goes into the job.
Same. I will never be a wedding planner. I will all day plan corporate events.
I'm in the wedding space. I love all my wedding planners out there. Please give me a call if you're listening.
The wedding planners are on business.
But I do like the corporate space. Yeah. But wedding planners, I will not forget about you.
I'll say the event planners and wedding planners, that's their job, right? But it's the bride or the bride's mother-in-law.
I have not had a bad like bridezilla situation. Yeah, that's usually one of the questions I get a lot. I have not.
Wonderful. Yeah, let's not jinx that. And in true Venture Cafe style, how can we help you?
If you know anybody, any person working in an organization that vibes with what I'm saying, really is looking for somebody or even uses food at their place, whether it's to retain employees for lunch programs, whether it is to get new clients and sponsorship meetings, please reach out or send a contact, send them to my way. I think that's the biggest thing is we're just looking to get in front of the right people that vibe with our message, the people that need what we're offering. And so if you know anybody out there, I guess a good intro would be nice.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Joey, for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. And I look forward to seeing you at Venture Cafe. And you're going to be helping us with our 200th celebration.
Yeah, we're doing something really cool for that. I'm not sure how much we're allowed to talk about yet, but just be on the lookout. It'll be really fun. And any Venture Cafes you stop at for the rest of the summer will be there.
Yes.
So you can come try some of our foods. We're rotating concepts every week. So really looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Well, thank all of you for being here and listening to the podcast. And we'll see you on Thursday.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Venture Cafe Phoenix, an extraordinary podcast. Join us every week as we explore the ideas, partnerships, and people making Arizona a place to build. And if you're in Phoenix, come join us in person every Thursday from 4:30 to 7 at 850 PBC in the Phoenix BioCore, downtown Phoenix. Come as you are, show up when you can, and be part of a movement. It's free to attend, and yes, believe it or not, parking is free too. Venture Cafe Phoenix is made possible by the Center for Entrepreneurial Innovation at Gateway Community College, part of the Maricopa Community Colleges system. And it's also supported by the Maricopa Community Colleges Foundation, the organization behind Venture Cafe Phoenix and a catalyst for entrepreneurship, innovation, and community building throughout Arizona. Special thank you to our legacy sponsor, the City of Phoenix, and our founding sponsors, Arizona Commerce Authority, Phoenix Bioscience Corps, Arizona State University, and Wexford Science and Technology. If you'd like to help us continue these conversations and help keep them ad-free and available to all, you can make a contribution at mccc, that's 3Cs, df.org/donate. Select Other, enter Venture Cafe Phoenix, and if you'd like to support on an ongoing basis, check the box, make this a recurring gift. This podcast is powered by Extraordinary Podcast Network, the network for thought leaders. Learn more about Extraordinary at joinextraordinary.com. Recorded in the Extraordinary studio at Cul-de-sac, America's first purpose-built car-free neighborhood. Until next time, keep building, connecting, and innovating, and we'll see you at Venture Cafe Phoenix.